Well, I'd say it's safe to say we've got some news to discuss. I was literally just on my way back and I turned my computer on, and this is the first thing I see. So there's actually two things to talk about. We could talk about the more exciting one, well, if you want to say it's exciting, at the end. But we have a couple confirmations as to some shows and a possible big screen event. The first show being Ahsoka. Season 2 has been confirmed. Now, this was pretty obvious, to me at least. I mean, if you think about the way the Ahsoka show ended, I mean, it wouldn't really make sense for it to just sort of end like that, because obviously we know that in the events of Book of Boba Fett and Mando Season 3, Luke and Ahsoka meet, or they have met before, and it is determined that they know each other. So we have to see how that comes into play. Now, what do I think this show is going to be about, or this season rather? I think this season is going to have a lot to do with mainly Thrawn and his, what his big plan is. I think his big plan will finally be revealed. It wasn't necessarily revealed in the first season, however, it was determined as to where they were headed, because as you see in the end of the first season, spoilers if you haven't seen it already, they make their way to Dathomir. So this could mean a couple of things. This could mean that he is trying to use dark magic to resurrect a certain type of army. He could possibly be trying to bring back the Night Sisters. He could try, who knows? Maybe he could bring back Darth Maul or Ventress or somebody, some powerful dark side user that he wants on his side. But where does this leave Ahsoka in all this? Obviously, she was left on Peridia with Sabine. Now, she seemed so content with just being left there, and I think the biggest point, or the biggest thing I didn't really understand from this whole show was, if Thrawn's such a big threat, this, that, and the other, you finally let Ezra go, he is free, but you and Ezra basically swap places, and now Thrawn's free, and you're just kind of totally content with staying on this planet. I mean, I guess it shows growth, but to me it just doesn't really make sense as to why she would be okay with that. And how would she be able to make it back? I don't necessarily know. It's not like she has another ship there. Maybe she gets in contact with somebody through the Force. Maybe Mando or Grogu somehow makes contact with her, and Grogu tells, is insisting that Mando takes him to this unknown region of the galaxy. That's an option as well. And now we have this right here. The Mandalorian and Grogu are headed to the big screen. Directed by Jon Favreau and produced by Favreau, Kathleen Kennedy, and Dave Filoni. The Mandalorian and Grogu will go into production later this year. So it seems like the movie is called The Mandalorian and Grogu, which, although interesting, I am wondering if this is just season 4 turned into a movie. Just like how Kenobi was supposed to be a movie, but turned into a show, then back into a movie, and then it was ultimately released, and, well, we know the state of that. So I'm hoping this was, again, something that was planned. I hope that this is something that is cohesively written. I'm hoping that this is how they wanted to end the quote-unquote Mandoverse, if that's what you want to call it. I hope this is going to kickstart Heir to the Empire. I hope this is going to show us, what actually happens in the post-original trilogy that eventually leads us to the sequel trilogy, because there's been so many gaps that have had to be filled in. We've had Luke's story with Grogu, and we've had the creation of Snoke, and how that empire came to be, and the First Order. There's so much stuff that needs to be answered, and I think that this movie is going to kickstart that. I don't think this is going to show everything, but I do, however, think that this movie will ultimately propel that forward, and we will see that come to fruition. So let me know what you guys think about this. Do you think this is the right idea? Did you guys want more Mando? Or after season 3 where you're like, I'm done with this. I'm done with Mando. I think we've had enough, and you wanted to see new shows. Are you more excited about The Acolyte? And do you think that Star Wars should completely abandon the whole sequel thing and trying to come up with the story and just go 200 years back into the past, or 1,000 years into the past, or maybe 1,000 years into the future? What is your opinion on this? Because I think with them doing stuff like this where they show, the plan for the sequel trilogy and ultimately try to tie that thing together while also coming out with The Acolyte, I think it's going to be a good like guess as to what fans want. Are more fans going to approach the Acolyte and think that this is where they need to go? Are most fans going to ditch this for the Acolyte? Are most fans going to ignore the Acolyte? Are most fans going to, what's this going to do at the box office compared to the Rey movie? I think that's another thing to consider. Is this going to perform well? Are people, done with the Mando verse type thing? Or is this what people want? So I want you guys to let me know what you want in the comments below. Let me know what you're excited about, and let me know if there's going to be anything else you want us to discuss. So in the meantime, I look forward to hearing what you guys think, and I will see you guys next time.